What's even real?
Ba, ba, ba.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday. Good morning.
Is it morning, or morning's a figment of the government's imagination?
Is my morning your evening? I'm just kidding.
Oh, baba. Hello everybody. As you can tell, we're all things conspiracy theories this morning. Welcome back and happy Tuesday, turkeys. How long have we known each other?
We've known each other for 2 decades.
I am not apologizing for who I am or what I like or the people that I love.
How do I be a wife? How do I be a mom? And how do I be myself in all of that? You didn't see that coming, did you?
So I have not been deep in this world. Kayla has for a while. One of my coworkers who listens heard you talk about the middle of the earth being a portal.
Yeah.
And messaged me and was like, does Kayla really think the middle of the earth is a portal? I said, I don't know if we think these things or if they're a fun thought experiment or if it's just fun to talk about. But then I thought to myself, well,
do you know what the middle of the earth is? No offense.
That's what I ended up thinking. I was like, well, wait, is this more a scientific theory where it's more likely than not, but do we know for sure?
My thing is, all of the conspiracies and all of my life questions that I have may or may not be real. And will I find out when I die? I hope so. But it begs the question, and we're both skeptical, and I just feel like there's questions. And if you're not 100% sure and you haven't been there and seen it yourself, maybe it is. Probably not, but maybe.
Yes, that's what it is. That's, I think, where we are. We're probably not, but maybes, because we're always finding out new things. And science is not a hard and fast science, if you will. There's a lot of theoretical, still more likely than not, but it changes.
That's so funny that they messaged you that.
I mean, we talk all the time, so it's not out of the ordinary for her to message me. But it was so funny. I was like, well, it's not that she's out here. It's not like her kid's going to come home from school every day and Kayla's going to be like, well, actually, you should watch this YouTube video.
Yeah.
But I do also have a feeling that your kid will absorb it from the energy in your house. And I think it's good to have at least questions.
I just doesn't mean
you deny. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a denier and you don't want to be a skeptic and believe nothing because that's annoying, first of all, as a personality type. But to just have a healthy sense of wondering. So that's what we're hoping to invoke today. It's just a little sense of wonder, a little bit of fun, a thought exercise, if nothing else. Mm-hmm. I am not as deep in the world, so Kayla's going to introduce us to some of her favorite conspiracy theories that aren't hopefully going to get us canceled. And I'm going to start off by trying to even guess what they are because I've been nosy for a while, but intentionally holding back so that I have time to explore them in real time as we record. And I'm also wearing my skeleton peace sign earrings because it's the closest thing I could get to any sort of an alien vibe.
I love it so much. I would like to say a few things, a few caveats before we jump in. I have laid these out in maybe not so much of a, probably not, but maybe a type of way. Just to caveat ourselves here. I laid it out as in like, these are the things that we know. And then here's the conspiracy behind it. So here are the things that we know for sure.
Oh, okay.
And then, what if we question it? And then this is the conspiracy involving it. Okay.
Okay.
Also, I want to say a few more things. Do you know where the origin of the word conspiracy and conspiracy theorist comes from? Fun fact of the day.
Okay. Oh, I love etymological discussions of words.
So it was actually created by, guess who, the CIA, in the 60s while the Warren Commission was investigating the JFK assassination, which is very interesting just to start with. Yeah.
This feels kind of like how you're a piece of shit boyfriend and your girlfriend kind of goes off the handle every once in a while. So you call her crazy, but really she's just reacting to your out of control behavior.
Perfect analogy. Okay, my last caveat is I wouldn't say these are my favorite conspiracies because my favorite conspiracies would get us canceled. So on a scale of 1 to 5, level of how deep we're going today, these are all basically a level 1. A level 5, no one should talk about on the internet. And I don't think we should go above a 2 on this podcast. So today we're staying on level 1 conspiracy levels.
Maybe if we get enough viewership where we can generate an income and we don't have to worry about our safety of our day jobs, then we can at least drop it to a 3.5 on the Richter scale.
So those are my caveats. Okay, so how do you want to do this where,
I have one more comment. Someday, can we go on a hike without our phones? And then will you tell me about the level 5s?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we need to leave our phones behind.
Okay, let's start.
Okay, so you want to guess them? Well, how do you want me to set this up? Because I start a lot of these with a question for you.
Okay.
But did you want to guess? You just want me to lay out the stuff, and then maybe you can guess the conspiracy?
Yeah, I'm not. Well, if I want to do whatever, however you envisioned it, but if there's a point for you to like explain what we know, and then if you want me to try to pretend like I can guess what the conspiracy is that connects them, however you want to do it. I'm just here to be shocked and awed.
I love it.
Hey, turkeys, real quick, we want to tell you about our fun new free craft corner. Every quarter, in line with the equinox or solstice, we are going to send out new farts and crafts projects. You can find the link in the show notes. Just drop us your email. We promise not to spam you, but we'd love for you to join us. Now back to the show.
Okay, well, the first question of the day is, Kaylee, true or false? The Federal Reserve is a branch of the U.S. government and is a central banking system.
I don't think it's a branch of the government. Doesn't it fall under the executive branch?
Well, that would be logical, but you were incorrect. It has nothing to do with federal. It has nothing to do with government. It is a no relation associated with the U.S. government in any fashion or form. It is not, there are no reserves, and it is basically just a group of private bankers owned by rich people.
Does our government just flim-flam around with them a lot?
Yeah, so everyone, when I was doing my research, it's like people believe, okay, even if they know that it's separate, it's like, well, the government is controlling the Fed. You know, we have our hands in it enough where we can kind of help them and dictate them what to do. It's actually the other way around.
Oh, because are they the ones that are setting interest rates? Is that because we're going to them like, excuse me, could you do something about this?
Yeah, they basically can just puppeteer everything. That was a reach, but okay, let's stick with the facts. Okay, so it is not a part of the government. It
does make sense now that you say that.
Mm-hmm.
What is the part of you might not have researched this? What's the part of the government that prints the money?
That is a great question. I don't know. I don't think it's
called. I'm gonna do a Google.
Yeah, do a Google while I continue. So
okay.
So it's basically a group of private bankers. And it's made up of 7 men who at the time in 1913, I think they started gathering around 1911, 1912. 7 men at the time who represented 1/4 of the wealth of the world. So 7 men made up at the time what was known as 1/4 of the wealth in the entire world.
Was Rockefeller one of them?
And JP Morgan. Okay. They met, well, actually, I don't want to say Rockefeller was one of them because now I almost wrote down all the names, but I didn't. I'll look it up. But they were basically secretly meeting at this place called Jekyll Island, which is a scary name.
Oh, isn't that in Georgia?
Yeah.
Sorry, it does sound scary, except that I know it's a bunch of golf nerds driving around golf carts with their little flat front shorts and fucking Lacoste polos anyway.
Yeah, they turned it into some park, and you can go to the actual building where it says the Federal Reserve was created here. Like says it on a sign in a room, like a dark room. Now I want to know if Rockefeller was one of them. But anyway, so they basically all met and got together and created this Federal Reserve, which they purposely named to kind of trick the people. They brought it to Congress under a certain guy's name, and it did not do well. And then they basically switched the name and pretended like it was super helpful. And then all the rich private bankers told the newspapers like, this is a horrible idea, haha, even though they wanted it to happen. But they were like, well, if the public thinks us rich people think it's a horrible idea, they'll think it's a great idea and they'll move forward with the bill. Yeah.
What was the bill for?
to basically instate the Federal Reserve.
Oh, like to legitimize it as an establishment?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I did look it up. It's the U.S. Department of Treasury that I was thinking of, which honestly makes sense now that I say this, because there is no, to my knowledge, federal agency that's called federal anything.
Yeah.
Even at my old job, people like would colloquially say federal probation, but the actual agency title is United States Probation.
Rockefeller was not one of the 7. I just want to make sure we put that out there. Okay. So getting into what I find would be the conspiracy, I'm not going to say anything yet, but there was 3 other people who at the time were worth $11 billion I should say in today's money, they were worth $11 billion. These 3 other people, not the 7, these 3 other people, they happened to die, and they were apparently opposed to this bill, to instating. So there's 10 really rich MFers. 7 are like, let's do this thing. It's going to be great for us and horrible for the people. And then the 3 other richies were like, probably not a good idea. So do you know where we are in history around the year 1912, 1913, and what potentially could have happened? This is the conspiracy time.
Oh, well, my house was being built 4 years from then. But
that's honestly crazy.
I know it's not prohibition yet, and women aren't voting yet.
The movie that I cried in, even though I didn't watch
Last Samurai.
No, the great movie though.
I wasn't sure how they were involved.
Okay, I'll get into the conspiracy. So here it is. J.P. Morgan was one of the 7 founders of the Fed. He had booked a suite on the Titanic, a beautiful suite with full of all the fun things, and he ended up canceling last minute. But the 3 other richies were all on the Titanic, and they all died. So the conspiracy goes, did the Titanic, was it caused to sink and kill these people so that these other guys could instate the Fed?
Interesting.
Or was it just an iceberg?
That's very interesting.
Right. So Titanic happened in 1912. The Federal Reserve was officially established 1 year later in 1913.
So weird.
So cray, right?
So JP Morgan was just like, nah, I'm good. I don't like the water.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to finish my massage. That was one of the articles that they said. He said he stayed on land to have some cigars and a massage. Like, you booked a suite on the Titanic, which was like a big to-do, and you were just like, maybe next time.
So could these other 3 people have really stopped them from doing it?
These are the questions that I don't think we'll ever know. I think they had enough power and money to maybe go to Congress and kind of lobby against it at that time.
Oh.
But that's just me kind of assuming.
Okay. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. See, we're just at level 1. We're just going to dip our toe in today. We'll just see what happens. Oh my gosh. Okay. Next conspiracy question for you, Keely. Are you familiar with the European Organization for Nuclear Research?
No.
Do you know?
But I want to just put it out there that as a child, I was afraid of nuclear meltdowns constantly.
Yeah. Well, they had us like hiding under our desk for, what is that going to do?
I don't know. Okay.
Do you remember that?
Going.
Okay. Well, that is actually what we call CERN. Have you heard me talk about CERN before?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. CERN is located in Switzerland. I think it's actually on the border, but it basically encompasses most of Switzerland. It's an underground. They do a lot of scientific research here, but the main thing that people talk about is CERN, which is the largest particle accelerator. So if you look at a map, it's a huge circle that's underground where they basically fling particles and atoms around and try to collide them. And they say they've collided atoms and molecules so small that they created the God particle. They're basically trying to recreate what happened in the Big Bang, or to get close to it to understand it. But it's a little odd, because if you're creating little Big Bangs, what is that doing to the fabric of our universe and multiverse? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I won't jump too far ahead. However, I'll give you some more facts. Switzerland, where CERN is located, is home to the most underground bunkers, consisting of 375,000 bunkers underground. Now, could that have been from World War II or something? Maybe. I don't know. But it's a little interesting that there's so many underground bunkers there. And
Like just civilian people have them? Or
Well,
they government?
mhm.
Interesting.
And apparently there's a lot of Hitler's treasures and wealth and stuff is still underneath these bunkers that were hidden. So
I watched a weird show about that.
yeah, so that could be here nor there about that. The weird thing is, if you look up the CERN logo, which if you want to quickly Google this so you can see it with your eyeballs, and then we'll put it up on the screen and post for the peeps.
Is it CERN?
CERN. And then just do logo, and it should pop up pretty quickly.
We're gonna do the old screen share.
Oh, there you go.
Microsoft Edge tab.
Oh wow.
Are you seeing it?
Yep, there she be. Okay, so what do you see there? Anything that catches your eye? Probably not.
No, it just looks like I'm a 12-year-old, so it looks like a 69.
Okay, you're very close. You got one of the letters right. Just multiply it by 2. So people say that when you untether them together, they end up saying 666.
Oh, I love everybody that sees 666 in things. That is my favorite.
Or when you use gematria to find out things, and like, oh, the monster can is an M, but really it's 666. And
oh my God,
in gematria means I am evil, and Balenciaga means I hate God, and it's just like, oh my God, there's a little too much there, but that was just one little tidbit.
There's something about sprinkling the Christians into some of the numbers things that makes them really wild. When I feel like the Christian moms that get really obsessed with that stuff could just tell their kids to not drink energy drinks because they're bad for them. Why does it have to be Satan? Okay, I know. Sorry.
Yep.
Let's go back.
I agree with you there. I just wanted to present what the people have been saying.
I saw it once you said it.
Yeah. Well, you did say 69, so you got one of them right. Okay. The last thing is, will you do it one more time and Google the statue that's in front of CERN? Just say statue in front of CERN.
Oh, Google.
She populated
Nataraja. Is that her name?
Lord Shiva.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think someone thought she had a different name. My girl Shiva. Isn't that the Hindu goddess of warfare?
Yes. So so this is the interesting part of my research. Depending on which website you're on. Yep, there she be. Depending on which website you're on, it says different things about this goddess or lord or whatever, which honestly, I thought it was a he, because everyone says he on the research. However.
Oh, I could be wrong.
I originally thought it was a woman too. But anyway, apparently the biggest thing that I found was people are saying, or several articles are saying it's the god of destruction.
Yeah, okay, that tracks with the warfare thing that I had in my head.
Yeah. So you have these people
stepping on.
I know, right? I just noticed a little baby. What is that? What the hell?
Oh, this is fascinating.
Okay, Kaylee. So you have this underground facility that's trying to create the little mini Big Bangs. The logo you could potentially say is 666. And then you've got this destruction of god of destruction out in the front of your lawn where you did a fake ceremony and sacrificed 9 people. It was fake, they say. So what could that mean?
How did you breeze right by this fake ceremony?
Because I didn't get to research it too much, so I didn't want to encapsulate it too much. Encapsulate it. There is they basically did like a fake sacrifice, and they were like, "We're just kidding, haha." Yeah,
this is very interesting. It's very interesting that the Hinduism influence. I wonder why, of all things, that would be the statue there. That's so random.
A leaked video depicts a human sacrifice conducted by researchers at the CERN nuclear research facility. The CERN ritual hoax is a footage video that depicts a faux occult ritual occurring in the grounds of CERN. So they did a faux ritual hoax. Why even do that? I don't know. So, the conspiracy.
Do you think it was the people? Was it the people that work at the place, or do you think that people that are in a cult or into the occult found out they were doing this there and then had a ceremony?
Yeah, or they just wanted. They're like, oh, there's a Shiva statue really close. Let's go there to do our thing. I don't know.
It's very interesting, though. I didn't know that they were doing particle things.
Mm-hmm. So, the conspiracy is, unless you have any guesses.
I can't even begin to understand it unless they're just trying to make something worse than a nuclear bomb.
Well, they even have said that they've potentially opened up portals.
Oh.
Yes. So when you Google, if you want to do this on your own time and you Google CERN and portals, I'm sure a lot of things will come up, or maybe not on Google, but on YouTube. But basically, they're wanting to open up portals and allow interdimensional beings in and out, and also hoping that we can maybe come in and out with the accidental side quest of creating the Mandela effects. This is where people think it stems from, because they're messing with the timeline, they're messing with the Big Bang, they're messing with the portals, and they're thinking that we've like somewhat shifted slightly. So now when you see the Monopoly guy in this lifetime, because they fucked with us, is shifted slightly. Now he doesn't have a monocle.
The fruit of the loom cornucopia disappeared.
Exactly. So that is the conspiracy.
So fun. I love that there's an origin story to Mandela effects.
Yeah. Well, that's what people say. So very interesting.
This is my favorite day.
Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, next one. Moving on, because we've got 3 more to bounce through real quick. And if not, we'll save the last one. Okay, do you know what contrails are, Kaylee?
No.
Okay.
Are these the things in the sky everyone's freaking out about?
No, these are water vapor from jet engines that are visible when there's sufficient humidity, but they do disappear after about 30 seconds.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
So contrails are real. And they do happen. However, chemtrails is what I'll be talking about today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought that I was confusing the word with something else.
No, you're absolutely right. So, well, contrails is real, and people talk about chemtrails because it's chemicals. Okay. So, chemtrails can take hours to dissipate. And basically, when you see the planes and you see the stuff coming behind them and they don't ever disappear, they start kind of like spreading out a little bit as like a haze over the sky. You know what I'm saying? They kind of like branch off. These white aerosol-like emissions are usually composed, and this is all from like actual websites. This is not the conspiracy party. So bear with me. These emissions are usually composed of aluminum, barium, lithium, and strontium metals, as well as pathogens. When tested, the presence of heavy metals are thousands of times over the safe level. Interesting. So people basically use these. It's called geoengineering, which is what I actually slipped in last episode. I don't think you caught it because we were talking about.
No, I heard you. It's just that I know that there are some of the people that get into that then have a really weird race affiliation that I don't want to touch. Yeah, but I know that's not where you're going, so I just
weird.
Anyway.
Okay, didn't even know that. Okay, but people like. There's pros to weather modification, or whether, basically they're wanting to make sure the ozone layer is protected and global warming is not getting worse and whatever. So like this actually happens and it's for reasons. But, oh yeah, okay, so here we go. There's a bill, or there's HR 2977. It's the Space and Preservation Act of 2001, where the government goes into describing that they do weather control and weather modification, and they use chemtrails. So it's not like a conspiracy theory that it's happening, that they're purposely putting stuff in the sky. I just want to make that clear. That's not the conspiracy.
But there are still just vapors from planes.
Because
so not every time that you see a line is there. Okay.
Well, every time you see a line that's there for more than, if it doesn't go away, then that's a chemtrail.
Okay.
If it does go away, that's just a normal contrail.
Okay. I don't want people to think we're ignoring the existence of one thing.
No, because it's true.
In lieu of the other. Okay.
No, yeah, 2 different things. So I'm not saying this is true. This is all just, here we are now. The book of the conspiracy is, oh, this is so funny, that the government wants to manipulate the weather to have the ultimate power. Because if you can ramp up a tornado or hurricane and push it on to this other country, that is warfare in itself. But they also want to poison us and continue making us sick and dumb. So we need their health care, all under the guise of saving us from global warming.
Love it. Love it.
So I'm not saying we go that far, but it is interesting, whether even just take that aside. It's interesting that we're able to have some say in weather modification. And it's very interesting that those heavy metals are in there. There's maybe a reason for those. I have a strong opinion about heavy metals, and I don't think they're good for our bodies, but like maybe they don't fall to the sky, but like if they're in the sky, don't they fall down eventually? It's just like one of those things where like, I don't get it.
It's just so fascinating.
I know.
I've always heard people talk about chemtrails, so I'm honestly glad you talked about this because it's like words that I just hear in the world and I have no affiliation for what they mean.
Well, if you look up at the sky and you see like tic-tac-toe board freaking on the sky in cloud version, like it's a chemtrail. Like if you see it's like a straight shot, that's kind of, I mean, when we go outside sometimes I look up, I'm like, Jesus, fuck, they're up in the sky today. It's like zing, zing, zoom, zoom. Like they're all over the place. And I honestly hate it because it just ruins the pretty blue sky. But is there more nefarious reasons? We don't know.
We don't know.
Maybe, but probably not. But maybe. Okay. The next one. Have you heard of, Kaylee, the Antarctic Treaty?
Oh.
Okay. Cool. Super interesting. There's a treaty between a lot of countries, 57 parties to be exact. There is a treaty to agree not to dig or remove any materials, nor do any nuclear bomb testing or bomb activity or military activity on the continent of Antarctica. And that was put together in 1959.
What's the official reason? To save the penguins and to preserve the polar ice caps?
I don't know. Or to not get into World War III. I don't know. So the treaty was formed right before the treaty was formed. Operation Argus, which is an actual thing that happened. I just feel like I have to preface some of these things in the beginning.
Right.
They were conducting top secret atomic bomb testing in Antarctica. They said they were trying to poke a hole in the ozone layer, like shooting the atomic bombs up in the sky and poking a hole. But people speculate, this is not totally included in the conspiracy, but people speculate that they were bombing the New Berlin base, which was a Nazi base that was actually on Antarctica.
Oh, weird.
Where the Nazi base, was studying UFOs.
Oh.
So they would apparently, I don't know if they were there, or maybe they found something in the ice, or they transported UFOs that they had gotten a hold of, kind of deconstructed them, try to put them back together to, what's it called? Reverse engineer, try to figure out how it works. Yeah. So, interesting. You can visit Antarctica. I heard the trip is rough because, yeah, it's a really hard travel, but you can visit. There's different places you can go, but there is definitely places you cannot go. And there is a very serious no-fly zone restriction over some parts of Antarctica, which is interesting.
Right? It's like having a speed limit on a road that has nothing on it.
Uh-huh.
What are you going to run into?
So, Kaylee, what are you going to run into? What's your conspiracy take on this? Because I'm basically to that point.
Well, I, number one, just thought it was interesting that there's a marathon that they do in Antarctica.
Oh my God.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
That would be the worst.
There's these people that Jason knows that wanted to do a marathon on every continent. And so their final one will be the Antarctica one. Not related, just fun fact
for
of the day
them.
that I thought was amazing. Yeah. Big no thank you for Kaylee. I'll do a 5K on every continent. I could give that a try. I'm just assuming that the aliens are coming out of the ice.
Oh, I love that. So here we go to your friend. What if the opening to Hollow Earth is there? Or what's past the ice walls? Now, here's a conspiracy for you. I don't believe it, but let's hear me out. Let's go down the path for a second. What if
Let's
Earth,
just pretend.
yeah, what if Earth is flat? What if Earth is flat and the Antarctic ice walls are what's surrounding us? The edge.
Oh, that's so
it makes
funny.
up the edge of the world.
That is so funny.
Or, forget that theory. What if past the Antarctic, or the ice walls, wherever the no-fly zone is, there has been reports way back in the day. So now the landscape could have changed, ice age could have changed. Millions of years ago, the Earth could have been different. So I'm going to throw that caveat out here. But there have been reports of people who have flown into the no-fly zone area and they've seen lush land, like huge patches of lush greenness. So it begs the question, is there anything beyond Antarctica? Why do I keep saying that weird? Is there anything beyond Antarctica? Is it the end of flat Earth? Is it a portal to hollow Earth? Is it a path to another dimension? Is it what's there? That we have a treaty and there's no fly zones?
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what the official reason of the treaty is especially the no-fly zones. I find that very interesting. I can go down a hole of we don't want to bomb things and melt the ice caps and then raise the sea levels. That all seems very easy to get, like an easy explanation to get to. But I'm curious about the no-fly zones.
Yeah, same. Just
Unless
begs
we're
the
worried
question.
about, like, are we worried about crashing into it and fucking with the ice, the polar ice caps?
Or, excuse me, I'm so sorry. If it is a flat Earth and those are the edges, would the plane just crash into the firmament?
I can't with the flat Earth people.
I had to say it. It was just too great. Okay, me either. But here we go. Last one. Do you know, Kaylee, what is the number? No. Yeah, what is the number one cause of heart disease?
Writing it on a death report? Sorry.
That's a different conspiracy for a different day.
Well, Jason was explaining to me that a lot of things that are problematic will eventually turn into cardiac arrest because your heart can't beat because it doesn't have what it needs. And that's not science the way that I described it. But when he explained that to me, like a strangulation is eventually a cardiac arrest.
I see. Yeah. That makes sense.
Like when you autopsy manner versus cause of death, but cause of death a lot of times will be a cardiac arrest.
Interesting.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's all good. Okay. So everyone thinks, or the first thing that pops into people's head is cholesterol, right? Cholesterol bad. Cholesterol equals heart disease. Cholesterol, no good. So it's actually sugar that is, again, once you parse it down and bring it all down to the level of like our control, it's basically sugar, bad carbohydrates and all that crap, building up. Anyway, so it's not cholesterol like people thought, but there was a whole push. Remember when we were younger, everyone was like, cholesterol is so bad. Don't eat red meat. You're, take these pills. Okay. So according to the NIH, which is the National Institute of Health, the total cholesterol levels, this is on the NIH website. I just looked yesterday. For total cholesterol levels, this is including the LDL and the HDL and all the other stuff. Okay. For men and women aged 20 and over should be between 125 and 200. Okay. 125 to 200. Remember those numbers. 125, 200. Okay. 40 years ago, the normal healthy range was considered 300 to 350. Now, 40 years ago, we had different shit in our food, as in we didn't have crap in our food. Things were different. The environment was different. Food was different. I'm understanding that. We're just keeping that in mind. This is just the facts. Okay. But the interesting thing is, back in the day, 300 to 350 was normal range. Today, the NIH is saying 125 to 200. However, when it's shown that when levels fall below 160, which is still within the normal range of what today is, and some of the this one might bite me in the ass because there's probably stuff I don't know, but this is a conspiracy episode, so like this is not me telling you what to do with your health.
We're also not the experts, and we also think it's interesting to talk about.
Yeah, and don't take my cholesterol levels and then run with it. Like, talk to a doctor. Don't take our advice. This is not medical advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so when levels fall below 160, cholesterol deficiency symptoms start to be noticed. So they already could be happening, but now they're being noticed, like allergic reactions, your sex hormones are affected, lower DHEA levels. So if you're under 160, cholesterol deficiency symptoms start to show, which is weird because 160 is still considered normal today.
Oh, I gotcha.
So interesting. Okay. The cholesterol, if you don't know, is like a waxy, fatty like substance. The funniest thing about all this is that the fattiest organ in our body is, guess what that is? Close. Our brain.
Just kidding. Your fatty liver means you're not doing well.
Oh, yeah. I was like, close, but no. Oh, that's so funny. Your brain is the fattiest, like the healthy fats. You know, everyone on this keto shit now, and everyone, all ketosis, and you need fat for your brain, and drink your bulletproof coffee, you know, so everyone's kind of understanding the importance of fat and how it affects your brain and how it works better with fat. So anyway, cholesterol is used to protect our brain because it is a fatty organ. So, do you know what the conspiracy theory is?
That they want us to be dumb.
Yeah.
Whoever they is. JP Morgan.
Don't come for my bank accounts though. This is all out of fun. They're basically wanting to lower the cholesterol and push this agenda that cholesterol is bad and you should have a lower number. And here's all these statin cholesterol lowering medications, which by the way have side effects. The statin side effects are dementia, muscle wasting, Alzheimer's.
I thought statins had more to do with your heart rate.
I thought they were cholesterol.
I could be wrong. I just, for some reason, thought that they had to do with I could be wrong.
Statins are cholesterol lowering drugs.
Okay.
Says the Googs. So, but it is sad because just like with any medication, it does have side effects, but it does include dementia and Alzheimer's, which is very weird and very sad. And also breast cancer and vitamin D deficiency. Also, side tangent, did you know the US is like one of 2 countries that allow big pharma to have medication commercials? They are illegal in so many other countries. New Zealand. Yes. What the fuck are we doing? Okay, side tangent. Anyway, going back to cholesterol. So if the statins are really popular and we're trying to get everyone's numbers lower, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to get people unhealthy? Are we trying to get people dementia? Here's the hammer drop, is what I said. The Farmington Heart Study that has been going on for the last 40 years, their goal in that study was to prove that high cholesterol levels lead to heart disease. The conclusion over the last 40 years? It still has not proven to be true. What has been shown is people who have high cholesterol levels are not getting Alzheimer's. Anyway, very weird. I don't know what that means. There's just a lot of conflicting information on cholesterol, and I just thought that was very interesting. And could it all be just random, and we still need to figure out some science stuff? Absolutely. But
or could it be that the sugar lobby has a stronger pull than the eggs?
Yes. And does it not help that Big Pharma gets paid a butt ton of money for people being on statin drugs? Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I listened to the keto guy one time. No, the paleo guy one time do a presentation or whatever, but he was talking about like a tribe in a remote area, and they basically eat like coconuts and pork. It's like their main diet, and obviously there's physical activity that is coinciding with that, but they are some of the healthiest people. And he's like, saturated fats and pork.
Mm-hmm. That's
and we're out here
being vegans.
I don't know.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're just out here doing weird shit. It's very interesting. Fat has made a comeback.
It is, which I'm happy for, because I just don't like that things were so poorly attacked or poorly pushed. I could have done a whole segment on the food pyramid that we learned growing up, because that was some BS. If that's not a conspiracy theory. Just kidding. It's just like, are you that dumb and we are uneducated at that point to know better? Or was there something else going on? And again, these are just questions that are fun to ask, but I just thought it was interesting.
Very interesting. Was that your last one?
Mm-hmm. How did you like them?
I loved every one of these, and I want to do a conspiracy theory once a quarter. I just think a little bit of skepticism is good, man. Mm-hmm. I remember when we were in school, and one of our teachers, best teacher I ever had, I had a lot of good teachers. We were very lucky.
Mhm.
But I definitely had a history teacher, and I can't remember which one it was, that just kind of said, history is written by the winners. So just keep that in mind. They still presented our normal curriculum, but they just said, hey, there's always a person writing this that has a bias. And then I will also never forget our social studies teacher, who kind of did the same thing, and a freshman year had us reading John Locke and all these other different theories of government, but also was just saying, hey,
Mhm.
maybe Columbus wasn't a great guy.
Mhm.
Maybe the Catholic Crusades weren't so nice. Just kind of putting it out there. Is there another way to look at this event? Or is there another way to interpret this event? The fact of what happened is non-negotiable, but just like how I talked about court, and I keep going back to that example, but you can have different interpretations of an event,
Mhm.
and being open-minded about what the different interpretations might be.
I love it. I just don't want to be naive to the fact that we live in a world where money and power go very, very far. And if there's people
Mhm.
with money and in power that have a benefit to doing things that maybe not are good for other people, I wouldn't put it past them. Now, is it true? Maybe not. But am I going to question it? 1000%.
Even if you don't look at it from a nefarious point of view, even if you just look at how our understanding of science has changed over the years as we gather more information.
Yes. Yes.
I think it's just a good exercise to think maybe we haven't arrived at the pinnacle of understanding yet.
I don't think we've arrived at anything. And I don't think we've been the smartest civilization either. Atlantis. Just kidding.
Everything has been. Oh my god. Well, with that, we have wrap up. It's time to wrap up so we don't keep you guys too long, but it's just the tip. Time for just the tip, guys. It's almost the end of, it is basically the end of August, which means the beginning of the Burr months, which if you're me.
Not in Florida and Texas.
No, not BURR cold, but BER.
Oh.
The September, October, November, December, the time of the year that I live for. So if you're like me and you're spooky girly, go on mooncat.com. They have really fun nail polishes. They're made in the US. They're supposed to be non-toxic. I think they benefit stray cats. I don't know the cat part because I didn't go down the rabbit hole, but they have so many fun ones. They have them for all seasons and all eras, but they definitely have some spooky vibes. So
not sponsored, but I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go online, look them up, and if you order now, you'll have them in time for the Burr.
Ooh. Show them off. Show the nails off.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I like this color. It's like a deep purple, but I thought it was a magnetic one, and it's not. But they have magnetic lacquer where you put it on and then you hold the magnet and then it pulls the color and it changes. It's so fun. Oh my god. They have so many fun ones. They're also just like quirky and weird and cool. So just go online, find them, and paint your nails, and we'll see you next week.
Keep questioning, motherfuckers.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. I should have put a tinfoil hat on.
I know. It's a missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.